Okay, we're going again. Hi, I'm Jacob.
Hey, I'm Joey.
Hi, I'm Aidan.
We're playing Uncharted 3 today after we did Uncharted 2 the last time with the three of us. You may or may not have seen it. Hopefully you did. It was a pretty good time. You should go watch it. Today we're playing Uncharted 3, though. It's the next one in the series. Hold on. No, Golden Abyss did release after this. Golden Abyss is the Vita game, which we will not be playing because we can't. Because it's on the PlayStation Vita. Even if you get it...
I got a Vita TV.
No, you can't play it on the Vita TV.
Oh, is it touchpad?
Yeah, it's got touchpad stuff. Yeah, and like that... And it's unfortunate because all the really interesting Vita exclusives have the touchpad compatible. Like, you couldn't play Gravity Rush on the Vita TV. That got a remaster. Golden Abyss didn't. According to Jake, our friend who has played it, he says it's very bland. Like a competent shooter, but just like story-wise, it's pretty bland. But I really wouldn't know because I've never looked into it significantly.
That gun would not be performing very well.
No, it wouldn't be. You wouldn't think so. It's like, I mean, that being said, the AK-47, the Kalashnikov line of rifles.
No. Of any of the guns, it's the one that would be able to.
But yeah, no, it's a pretty hard opening image. I like that. I like that all the title screens are really different. The first one is the montage of maps. Second one is the temple. Then you have this, which was also, like, I think the first image we ever saw of the game because it's the opening shot of the game's teaser trailer from back in the day. Pretty neat. Anyway, Uncharted 3 came out in 2011, just 2 years after the second game. Boy, you wouldn't know it, that there were only two games. I mean, Joey, we already have obviously seen the leap between 1 and 2.
Yes.
And the leap between those two games is phenomenal, and that was 2 years. This is, in many ways, isn't as extreme of a leap, but the amount of stuff in this game is kind of incredible considering the turnaround. This is very late PlayStation 3. This is really, really pushing. It's not quite the Last of Us levels of pushing right up against what the hardware was capable of.
But it's getting there.
It's getting there. This because Last of Us was 2 years later, I believe. It was 2013. It was right before the PlayStation 4 came out, which is why I got a remaster on the PlayStation 4 like the next year because it was kind of a secret PS4 game. But anyway.
Now it's a secret PS5 game.
Now it's a secret PS. That's a whole other story that we'll talk about maybe later on in this playthrough. So anyway, like I said, this game came out in 2011, a couple years after the second game. This game is a lot of people's favorite in the entire series. I personally am not so hot on it. This one is going to be very different from a lot of other playthroughs we've done, folks, because with a lot of other games we've played, it's been like, this game's really good, or I'm not really a big fan of this game, or whatever, right? Maybe with some mixed feelings in there a little bit, but usually so for example, I think the most mixed on games that we played probably were Kingdom Hearts 2 and Birth by Sleep, where it's like, those are games that we like, but that have a lot of issues, and for me, really, I've said before with Kingdom Hearts 2, a lot of the issues I talk about them primarily not because they're like crippling to 2, but because I saw them like, all of the problems of 2 became features in later games. So I was kind of like tracing origin points, not so much saying Kingdom Hearts 2 sucked because of that. This game is weird because it is full of some of the coolest, most incredible things I had ever seen in a video game in 2011, and some that are still gonna wow you today. This game's kind of amazing. It also is it kind of sucks.
Perfect.
It's I don't know what this is gonna look like for me.
Right.
Okay.
This is gonna be a strange playthrough for me talking about this game because I am going to spend a huge chunk of this talking about how cool this game is.
Okay.
And then I'm going to also I'm also gonna get really upset with it at times.
Okay.
This is gonna be kind of an interesting experience. I'm really excited to do this. It is going to be a fun time for you guys here sitting on the sofa with me, and for everyone at home.
Just considering like what I've heard about the set pieces, I'm looking forward to just at least seeing it.
Oh yeah, no, this is absolutely a fun game. And everybody at home watching, if you're blind on this, like, you're gonna have a good time. Like, this is an entertaining, quality, good video game. It's just too bad that it kind of sucks.
And for context, for anyone who missed it because they didn't watch the last one, shame on you. I am blind also. The only thing that I knew about the entire series was the train sequence from the last one. So I know nothing.
Yep. So we've gotten Aidan caught up on most of Uncharted 1 at this point, by the way, because a lot of Uncharted 1 stuff kind of comes back in this game.
Okay.
She hasn't gone and watched the entire game, but we got her through some of the key cutscenes and some other bits of it, and we've discussed it. So she had not seen Uncharted 1 when we did 2, she's now more or less caught up on the events of the first game. With that, I really don't have much else to say to get us started here, because I'm gonna have plenty of opportunity to talk about stuff in the game. And one thing I will say about this, as we're getting started here, is that when I went back and played this game for the first time in several years, a few months ago, for the first, 2 hours, I was like, oh my god, I'm having so much fun. I can't believe I haven't touched this since, 2011.
Fun.
All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night, in the dusty recesses of their minds, wake in the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dream with open eyes to make it possible. This I did.
Thank you, Eddie. I couldn't tell where we were. Thanks for I'm glad that manhole had the city very conveniently labeled for us.
Oh, I missed it.
The manhole said London on it, just in case you missed it.
Just in case these lads didn't look British enough.
You can tell they're English because they all look exactly the same because they're super inbred.
Has anyone seen Ted's keys? Is that what the note said?
Yes. It was like, has anyone seen Ted's keys? Call Maureen, I believe it says.
Oh, perfect. That 8-ball, calling it
Hands
right
up.
now. Somebody's gonna take it to the head.
Damn, Drake's
Enjoying yourself,
stunting
pal?
in it.
Oh, yeah, you're a comedian.
I was going to say, they look real fancy.
Nice warm welcome.
They both got little jackets on,
Both
got
clean.
some collared shirts.
It's very like Temple of Doom, where you get to open and see Indy in kind of a different
Be too careful.
setting, wearing the suit in the
Listen, you're
club.
Talbot.
Mr. Sullivan and Mr. Drake.
That's
Such
right.
disdain.
Do you have it?
Let's see the money first.
Cutter.
Ooh, big boy. Cutter.
It's all there. Now let's see it. I'll need to authenticate it.
Of course.
Silver, 16th century, Elizabethan design, inscribed with Sir Francis Drake's motto. Well, it appears to be genuine.
Well, of course it's genuine.
If I may ask, how did you two come into this?
Does it matter?
My client will be very pleased.
Hold on a minute. Sully, this is fake.
I assure you, Mr. Drake.
Whoa, whoa, you are right. This is phony as a $3 bill. What the hell are you trying to pull here?
Perhaps I should be asking you.
This is bullshit. Deal's off, pal.
And you can tell your client you blew it. Come on, Nate, let's get the hell out of here.
You're not really in a position to negotiate. Now give me the ring, take the case, and walk out of here like gentlemen. While you still can.
Do as the man says, son.
You're a thief.
Well now, that's ironic.
Aw, dang it. The sticks, not the ball.
It's called a
Hey.
Q.
No, I called
Press
the 8,
the
not
button.
the Q.
So once again, they've mixed up the melee system for this game. We haven't gone back to the combo system from the first game, but it's a little more complex than what was in 2.
2, it was just spam X unless they counter you, didn't press triangle, right?
Yeah, it was square.
Oh,
Yes.
we got circles now.
Yeah,
Oh
so
my
people can
goodness.
grapple with you, and you have to press O. You have to mash O to escape from it.
Come on. No time to rest.
And you can also press, and you're also going to have to press triangle when people swing at you to dodge, which is no longer just the slow motion, like they've grappled with you, like was in 2, but also just sometimes when they throw punches at you.
Does that mean there's going to be a lot more just like straight up melee segments?
Yes, there is significantly more.
Because I'm going to say, this would not fly in a gunfight, what you're doing right now.
Corner of the table.
Oh, that part's softer actually, so it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Kick his ass.
I thought it was gonna be like the metal guards.
Oh, sometimes that part's leather instead of wood.
You gotta get out before the bobbies come.
Jeez. Hey there, big fella.
I got him. All right, quick, hit him.
You do have to hit square there.
Oh.
This game has a lot of sequences that look like cutscenes, and you are absolutely supposed to keep hitting buttons. But you get used to it, so like it really feels like.
Get him.
Even when you're not sure if it's interactive or not, you're still hitting the buttons you think you're supposed to. It works pretty well.
Okay. Another round.
So there's another thing you can do is you can, if you're not being grappled, you can grapple.
Oh.
Ooh.
And then also, oh crap! What the heck?
Let's see it again.
Here, this one's on me.
That is the first time I've ever seen that fail.
Very good.
So this game is where they really start going in on their punch laser technology, which is every time that you hit punch, the game detects stuff in the vicinity around Nate that he can be directly interacting with. So you get somebody up against a wall, and he'll animate differently pushing them up against the wall.
That-
You get someone over by this window over here. Hold on.
Oh, do it. Hit him with
No.
it.
Come on, Nate. Ah, he didn't do it. That's fine. If I can get this guy to do it, maybe. There he
There
goes.
we go.
Alrighty. I'm gonna say the
There are-
technology is good for just random interactions, but I've played games like this where it's like you try to do something specific and lure it above the game fights with you.
Ooh.
Where did the music go?
Oh
Man, that is nasty.
Come on.
Just give me a second there, mate. I'll be right with you.
This is another moment. You just hang out here until you hit square.
That's pretty good.
And you have to manually walk Nate back out of here.
Okay, ready for more.
Ow. Try that again. I punched instead of countering.
This is exhausting.
There you go. You gotta get the big man off his feet.
We even saw there's mirror technology.
Oh yeah, we're gonna look at that in a second. Ow.
Yeah.
Ooh, there you go. That'll do it. Porcelain's some heavy stuff.
You okay in there? You hurt?
Just my pride.
So yeah, there you similarly again you have to press triangle to dodge, and then you have to hit square to grab the top and hit him with it. So it's got a kind of an interesting effect where sometimes the game can, I don't know, I've talked about this before, a really big aspect of these games and their level of success is whether or not you can intuit what the game wants you to do. Because if you die repeatedly to a set piece because you don't know, oh, I need to jump out of the building when the helicopter shoots it, it can be frustrating. But if you intuit what you're supposed to do the first time, it can feel really, really cool. Yeah, cinematic and effective. And in this game in particular, you start getting trained for like, I'm not sure if this is a cutscene or if I'm supposed to be hitting buttons, which means even when it probably is just pre-canned, and Nate will just do stuff on his own, you don't know for sure, because you're hitting the buttons. and that has, I guess some people may say that sucks, but I think that's a really cool kind of effect.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that.
So before we leave, a few things to check out in here first of all. Yeah, you were talking about usually we crack or fog the mirrors so we don't have to reflect things, but they cracked it and it still reflects.
Oh,
That's
baby.
pretty cool.
Also over here, if we check out this
Ooh.
condom dispenser,
Yes.
you'll see it says your best protection. It's been crossed out and says worst. And down here at the dispenser, someone has written bollocks.
Polycontrast?
And there's a bunch of stuff on the walls in here like that, obviously sketched
Oh,
out.
there's the boy.
Do you mean this boy?
Yes, the
Wait, I'm not sure which boy
what
I'm
is it?
looking at.
That boy.
What?
That boy. He
No
was a
dog.
military thing.
Okay.
I forget his name, but he would just like show up on a bunch of ships and stuff.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, but so this game has stuff where there are physics objects on surfaces that if you are nearby, the game will sometimes trigger that you grab them. So when we'll talk about that. I see Aidan is pointing to the shiny on the back shelf. We will get that in just a moment. So when I grappled the guy and threw him over against here, it wasn't pre-canned to grab the drink. In this particular instance, it is because he goes, "Hey, you spilled my drink," and then Nate says, "This one on me," and hits him with it. But the game basically will, if you're close enough to a surface like this and there's a bottle within arm's reach, Nate will sometimes reach over, grab it, and hit the guy immediately. There are instances where you were talking about if you're trying to do something specific versus just like for fun. There are spots where fights will go faster if you can trigger specific things. There are things you can pick up like bottles that are usually one-hit KOs. And obviously, if you can send the guy careening out a window, he's removed from the fight.
Yeah.
But they're not. It's not everywhere. But there's a bunch. There's not a ton to interact with in this room. It's mostly just the bottles and the windows. But again, basically any surface. This machine here, the wall, the bar countertop. Nate can push people up against, and you can be pushed up against, and the animations will change up.
That's pretty.
Joey, you've obviously played The Last of Us. This is kind of the first one. You have played the first one, right?
I didn't beat it, but I played
Okay.
some.
And we've both watched.
I've watched a playthrough
and we've
of it, and I
watched
played
it.
a little bit.
And and that game has extremely sophisticated melee animations and systems, and they were developing it in 1 and 2 of Uncharted, but it gets really sophisticated here, and a lot of it carries over to The Last of Us Part 1.
I can see that, yeah.
Speaking of The Last of Us Part 1, we look over here. Scientists still struggling to understand deadly fungus.
Uh-oh.
This was the first teaser for The Last of Us. The actual teaser trailer for The Last of Us was just like footage of cordyceps with the guitar soundtrack in the background. The first teaser trailer for The Last of Us was released like 3 weeks after this game came out or something like that. It was like almost right after. So, and there were like rumors that it had something to do, because I think Naughty Dog had been posting photos of cordyceps on Twitter or whatever. So like people noticed this right when the game came out. This is the first because you made a joke in the first or second game about this was a subtle hint to The Last of Us. That's the first actual subtle hint to The Last of Us. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff kind of hidden around
I like
here.
that stained glass pelican a lot.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic,
Yeah.
right? Look at that. It's great stuff. We got over here 80s disco men's club. Over here we've got a little machine with there it is.
Oh?
Wasn't registering at first. A little coin, antique boxing
You got
medallion.
your first British treasure. It's not a TV license or anything.
It wasn't stolen by the British, it was actually created by the British.
Who would have thunk it?
Down here is a trophy that says trophies and awards.
Great.
Didn't expect you to look that closely. I don't know. I noticed that the other night and thought that was kind of funny. Anyway, and then yes, Aidan, there is another treasure back here.
Yeah.
This one we can actually see a little bit better than that coin. You'll notice that they're no longer just sparklies. The actual models now appear in game.
Ooh.
They don't keep this in Uncharted 4. While I like this, the sparkles are actually easier to notice than this. And also, I don't know for sure, but I think the model detail may have been reduced on some things in this. I could be wrong, but some of the models in this do not look as impressive as the ones in... Because you guys remember how insane the quality on the treasure models was in 2? Some of the ones in this one are a little bit lower quality. And this is...
Vesta case.
I'm
this is-
assuming like a cigarette case is what it looks like.
The only tangentially related, but I also don't like the UI in this one for the menus. I don't like as much. It looks kind of cheaper. I can't really explain it, but it doesn't look as good as the menus in the
kind of
first
flat.
2 games. Yeah, and then over here, the note you saw a second ago. No, that's no strictly no credit, do not ask. But over here, anyone seen Ted's Keys?
Tell Maureen.
Tell
yeah.
Maureen. Anyway, and then
All these boys are just gonna wake up and go back to drinking.
Probably.
yeah,
Honestly.
there's also we'll see it again later, but there's a brand for Naughty Dog Brew. Ow.
mushy peas.
So there's a bunch of animations you can trigger in here.
Oh no. I can imagine what one of them is already. I don't
Hold on,
like
actually,
it.
there isn't a burning someone on the grill like you may think. However, there is that,
Ooh.
and there's another one if I can get it to work.
Are you gonna pick up the...
There we go.
Oh!
I'm glad I got both of those in one go, so I didn't have to checkpoint restart. Which I will do occasionally to demonstrate things in this
I
game.
saw the fryer and was thinking the worst, but I'm like, he's not gonna kill these guys.
I don't think you... I've tried. I don't think there is one.
Okay.
And if you missed it, Sully literally knocked this cabinet over onto the guy down there. That's what happened over there.
Marvelous.
Anyway,
with beans.
let's move on.
Oh.
Oops.
Crap.
Oh, damn it.
Cheap shot.
Come here. Typical bloody Yank. All talk. Hey. You've had enough, haven't you, mate?
Respect your elders.
Don't. Stay down.
Oh, this guy again. He looks like an actor that I can't think of.
Oh, you're saying he looks like an asshole because he does.
Oh, I mean, yeah. That better not be... It's not, okay.
Hello.
You thought it was going to be Elena?
Yeah, a little bit.
Still wallowing in the gutter with your protege, I see. Not very dignified for a man of your age.
Should have known you'd be behind this. Oh, careful now. Wouldn't want you to melt.
Same cocky little shit. So fearless. I wonder what you're really afraid of. Not bullets or blood or broken bones. No. You get off on all this, don't you? Cheating death? Or not?
No.
Is that a sound cue from the first game?
Mr. Sullivan, I won't harm your precious boy. I merely want what's mine.
Then pay him for it.
Cutter!
Oh, no. Oh.
Shut up!
Damn.
Oh, you're bloody welcome, Your Majesty.
Marlowe, we have to get you out of here.
Oy vey.
Oh, come on, they're a right pair of arseholes. What?
The game starts off in purgatory.
The pirate, Francis Drake. Oh.
Woo! Tom Holland! Yeah! Woo! Love you, Tom Holland! I love you in Chaos Walking! Woo!
I'm okay. So is like very young Drake is. I just don't. He's such a baby.
Anyway,
All right.
Oh, so is this
Here
how
we
we got
go.
the ring? We stole it.
Let's see it.
so Joey, you mentioned, was that a sound cue from the first game? And then when we also flashed back, we also heard kind of that woo. So the soundtracks for all four of these games are really different from one another. But yes, this game does kind of have that like kind of those stingers happen in this game, which basically weren't in 2. But one thing that I really like, Greg Edmondson, I believe is his name, who did the scores for the first, second, and third games.
Okay.
They are all really different. They use
Yeah.
very different types of instruments and styles depending on where you are in the world. Like the music here in Cartagena, the Cartagena sequence is very different from the music in the rest of the game even. But anyway, we pop up in Nate's journal.
Oh.
We can see he was a pretty good artist even back in the day. He was pretty good at sketches. And there's a little flyer here for this exhibit on Francis Drake, and there is something you can see circled in red over there, and it's on a display case that he's drawing attention to. We've also got a map here of some kind. He's not sure what what is the Indian Ocean? What is this? what could it be? How does that work? Got some more sketches. Just general Francis Drake pirate shenanigans and being knighted. All kinds of fun stuff. Look at all that. There's a guy with a cannon over his shoulder there. That's pretty cool.
Dude looks like a stormtrooper.
A little bit like a stormtrooper, actually. And then not filled out yet, the rest of it. Anyway.
Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am. I guess it's free admission. It's open to the public. Very nice.
Oh, that's not it.
Your boat?
That's not it. What are we looking for?
So you don't have to stop and look at all of these, but all of these are labeled. You can walk up to them and press up on the D-pad, and it'll kind of zoom in on it and
That's not it.
tell you what's up.
Neat.
Yeah.
Neat.
Over here, hiding in one of these cannons, right
Ooh,
there.
I see the shiny.
Another treasure. Pretty. Maybe that seems like that has to be fake. That's too good.
Oh, yeah.
Ship bells from Drake's fleet.
Not here.
Spanish monk.
Sure. I don't know how that's related, but
I
why
don't know.
not?
Who cares? The Golden Hind, which is Drake's flagship, battles the Spanish. And it says we are in the Maritime Museum. So this I guess these cannons are probably permanent fixtures, and the Drake exhibit is seasonal.
Okay.
Oh, that's not it.
Letter of historical naval interest.
Don't zoom in too much.
Don't zoom in too much on that. Oh, hold on. Do it.
Not here.
Brass compass, very cool. What are these guys looking at?
He looks so nervous.
No, that's not it either.
Ooh.
Swords.
Ceremonial swords. The ones that look cool.
I got in an argument with a friend of mine the other day who sent me a photo of something, and there's someone in the photo wearing a t-shirt and jeans and a ball cap, and they were like, "This is the most '90s thing." And I was like, "It's just a t-shirt and jeans. What are you talking about? It's tucked in though. It's so bad. It's just t-shirt and jeans."
I'm tucked in right now.
I know. I was like, this person was insisting that it was such bad fashion sense, and they were dressed like they were in the '90s, but the photo was from the mid 2000s. So it's just a t-shirt and jeans. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
This is in the '90s, though.
If you want to get mad about it, you can.
Not here.
Museum's founder.
The
Bells.
this is in the '90s though, because the games are generally set the year that they came out. Drake is like, I want to say 35 or so in the first game, and he's pushing 40. He's like 38, 39 in the present day of this game. This is in like 1991 or thereabouts, I think.
That's not it.
mid 90s, early to mid 90s. I don't remember the exact. People have basically reverse engineered the exact years because they're not like noted by the developers for the most part. So people have kind of had to reverse engineer it from like the handful of birth years that were told and other details. You can see his passport in Uncharted 2, for example. It's stamped with a year. So I may be getting some of those dates
Don't look too close
wrong.
to that garbage can.
How's that?
So don't look too close to that garbage can.
Don't worry about it. Look at this nice, pretty blue light instead, Joey. Look at the nice things, not at the not nice things. Hey, listen,
Look at the nice things, not the conditioning the internets gave you because of a stupid mobile game.
We were talking about earlier about Final Fantasy XIV with the vases that had as many polygons as player characters. Sometimes things don't need to look super nice. Sometimes they just need to pass.
I'm not talking about nice. I'm talking about the internet's conditioned to me to look at that garbage can and say a phrase, but I won't do it.
Oh yes, got it. Okay, I got it. You're memeing. I understand
I'm
now.
memeing.
I figured it out. I figured out the meme that you were going for, Joey. It was dank.
Yeah, do it. Yeah.
Now, is that allowed, or is this guy just not paying attention?
Both.
Yeah, spin it.
Spin it to win it.
Yeah.
Knock it over like the original Wheel of the Worst. Now that's fantastic. Look at that. A legendary shark. It glows purple and it drops really good loot.
Oh my gosh.
El museo cierra en 15 minutos.
That's not it.
Museum closing in a few minutes.
Really?
glad-
It doesn't seem that late.
Bric-a-brac.
Just general assorted doodads and whatsits. You know how
Shark
it is.
novels. Oh yes, I love that style of suit right there. Oh, I can't get enough of those.
Pretty good stuff, right? I like it. I think it's pretty good. Now, we are not going, as a point of reference, folks, we are not going for a 100% treasure run on this. I do have a guide pulled up, and I'll glance at it eventually, but this is mostly going to be going off of my memory. That said, in my current file, I have 74 out of 100 treasures, and I imagine I'll remember a lot of them. Plus, I'm going to be looking around. These two are going to be eagle-eyed, I'm sure, trying to spot stuff. So I'm sure we'll get a lot of them, but no promises on this being 100% like with Uncharted 1.
Ooh, is that another diving suit over there?
There is another diving suit over there. I'm heading over there next, Joey.
Oh,
I'm
look at that
saving the best
boy.
for last. Don't worry. That Big Daddy suit over there, yeah.
Gonna make us wait, huh?
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's some good stuff. I love it.
Atmospheric diving suit.
He's got little clamp hands.
Yes.
Looking like a Lego or a Bionicle or something. Fantastic.
Oh, it's the coolest.
So,
the bigger and bulkier and dumber, the better.
Now, there's an early example here that I want to talk about of this game being pretty like this. So we're going to see some legitimately incredible stuff in this game.
Okay.
But there are spots where it's going to be like, boy, this game was probably needed to be a PS4 game and was pushing the PS3. Not that it didn't run on the PS3, but there are literally spots in the PS3 where things, like there's specifically, we'll talk about it when we get to it. There is a part where there is so much going on in the game that a line of dialogue doesn't play on time if you have an older fat PS4 because it can't load fast enough.
Interesting.
Now that isn't a problem in this version because the load times are lightning fast and that doesn't happen. But there are other issues and they're just bits where you're like, okay, they had to kind of cut some corners to make this happen and that's okay.
I like that
Ooh,
skeleton
a whale
up there.
skeleton.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we glance out this window over here,
Uh-oh.
Now, for anyone who doesn't know, Cartagena is a coastal city and definitely not next to a desert.
Don't worry about it.
So-
the water's just very still. And
It's very
dark.
still and sandy right now. It's the sand sea from Final Fantasy XII. Don't worry about it. Now you're not really supposed to come over here and look at it here, so it's fine. But it's just one early spot where it's like there are like you can see bits where this game's ambition is like kind of buckling under its own. I wouldn't even say hindering, just like buckling under its own weight.
Okay.
And that's not a complaint because like Joey and I talked about in the when we played the demo for Final Fantasy VII Remake, there's a shot where like and a lot of that like the textures, some of the textures in that game are low res and don't look so good. And like we talk about, we don't care because like, as long as the important stuff looks good, like get the game done and don't crunch people,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm not upset that looks silly. It's just kind of an early example of like there's that outdoor space over there rendered in, and this like courtyard area with a balcony and there's like just a lot of detail, and it's not always gonna be 100%, which is the way it is with any game. But there's just some noticeable spots in this game that I don't point out as a point of criticism, more as a point of amusement.
Yes. Ho ho.
Hello there. Why are all the people like judging us? We haven't even done anything yet.
Sick par, dude.
Crap. You didn't think it'd be locked?
I know, right? Thought it was gonna be real easy. No, low security for the silver 400-year-old ring. Woo, Mark Wahlberg! Woo! Yeah!
So this is how Sully is supposed to be looking in the new movie, right?
I love you, Mark Wahlberg! I love you in Transformers 17! So yes, Aidan hasn't seen it yet. In just a moment here, you folks at home can't see it, but and I'm kind of dressed up today, folks. I'm cosplaying as young Victor Sullivan. I have a Havana shirt on that doesn't fit me properly, and I have not shaved my terrible ratty mustache that doesn't look good and is awful and thin and is bad. And I have kept it on my face in honor of the mustache that is missing from Mark Wahlberg's face in the Uncharted movie, which I'm now showing to Aidan.
Yeah, he just looks like regular old Mark Wahlberg.
I think I told you in message. It's like, had I seen this image and told to say, "Hey, what is this from?" I would have never guessed Uncharted.
Absolutely
it doesn't look like it at
all. They look like CIA agents. Or
they don't even look
not
like
even CIA. Like
he doesn't
just
even
regular
look like
ass FBI.
He doesn't even look like a bad cosplayer. Like there's no Victor Sullivan in that.
Someone I saw someone say that Tom Holland's Nate looks like Flynn and Mark Wahlberg's Sully looks like Nate. But it is worth noting that while the movie was shooting, Mark Wahlberg made an Instagram post where he had the Sully mustache and said, "Don't ask. Don't effing ask." So I was saying, so we had a couple of theories going around. I said to Joey and Joshua, I think if there isn't a scene at the beginning of the movie where the villain shaves Sully's mustache off to make us hate him, People, it's ruined. Joshua's theory was, he said, I think a pretty señorita made him shave it off and then stole all of his money. and my actual theory is, I'm afraid that Mark Wahlberg, handsome movie star Mark Wahlberg, said, I don't want to have that mustache for 3 months. And the production caved, and he's going to have it in one scene at the beginning or end of the movie because he didn't want to walk around with it for 3 months, is my guess. But I don't know.
Isn't Mark Wahlberg the same guy that's, like, packing on weight right now for, like, a movie about a retired boxer?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know about that.
Okay.
They shot this, like, 5 months ago now, so I don't know. They finished shooting Uncharted, like, in January.
No, I assumed this project was done, but the point was, like, he's not willing to grow a mustache, but he's willing to, like...
Who knows?
Those images do not inspire confidence.
Maybe the movie didn't want a mustache. Maybe they thought the mustache will be alienating to normal audiences. Who knows? Anyway, let's continue. Joey's worn Sonic outfits for our Sonic playthroughs in the past. I decided it was time for me to start pulling my weight, so I'm cosplaying as Victor Sullivan. Young Victor Sullivan.
Okay, after Googling, I am 100% correct.
Ooh,
Sully's gonna steal it? No!
Te agarré, ratita callejera. Suélteme. Su clase de gente no es bienvenida aquí.
Literally, what did we do though?
My Spanish isn't good enough. He basically called him a street rat.
Oh.
Something like we don't want your kind in here or something. I don't know.
That seems racist.
A little bit.
That's a bad word.
Oh, there he is.
That's a dirty word.
This guy looks suspiciously similar to the boxers we were fighting in the bar earlier.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. We cut around here behind this car. Got another treasure.
Ooh.
It's a spoon.
Or a ladle, depending on how big it is.
Yeah, it's hard to get perspective on these treasures sometimes,
my phone,
isn't it?
Every 5 minutes, it buzzes once, and it's bothering me. I'm shutting them down. I'm shutting them up.
So,
yeah.
For the record, this is what I was talking about. Mark Wahlberg has a freaking mustache and is putting on weight intentionally.
Then maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it's the production said we're not going to have Sully with this mustache because normies won't like it. I don't know.
Now, to be fair, here's another image without the mustache.
Who knows, dude?
Maybe he just don't like mustaches.
Who knows?
Maybe, I don't know.
But
anyway, sorry, I didn't want to ruin this sequence with that, but I was like, I haven't seen a playthrough of Uncharted 3 produced since the casting was announced, and I was like, I need to, because you guys were like, when I said Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland, you're like, what? Because you didn't know about this scene. So the movie's supposed to be set a little while after this.
I still
There he is.
I like Tom Holland as this more than regular Nate, but I still don't like it.
Anyway, so real quick, something that I like about this sequence is they're going to teach you about cover mechanics here, right?
Okay.
But right now, Nate is not getting shot at. He's not hiding from bullets, right? He's just trying to be inconspicuous.
Yeah.
So when he takes cover, he pretends to tie his shoes.
That's pretty good. That's a nice detail.
Oh no.
And he has different animations for when he's in cover. He'll kind of like he'll peek his head out and try to get a look at stuff around him a little bit more because he's not, again, he's not worried about getting shot.
Yeah. Don't look at those eggplants.
Joey, we have to look at something. We have to look at the video game at some point during the video game playthrough.
Oh, don't mind if I do.
There's bugs. Ugh. Yeah, that wasn't...
Vete de aquí, limonero.
It was rotten anyway.
It's bad manners to put it back. Come on, Nate.
Now where did he
He
go?
didn't pay for it, dude.
Yeah, but he took a bite out of it.
There he is.
Oh. What is that in the back of that truck? Oh, bags.
Potatoes?
No, something or other.
But there's flies on those too.
There's flies on everything around here. It's pretty hot. Listen, it's pretty hot out here.
Where is he going?
I don't know where he's going, but
Where we go?
But he won't get there any faster than I can keep up with him, so it's time to stop and just steal some more things.
Hey, it's okay to steal that, but not taking a bite out of the thing.
You know, I know Nate is a thief, but he doesn't do actual much like thieving from living people in the previous games. He breaks into the museum, obviously, in 2. But we just stole that off of somebody's, somebody's cart in the marketplace.
They don't
there.
need it as much as we need the trophies associated with it.
As much as I just need to fill my pockets. Excuse me. Oh yeah, so you just noticed he kind of, this is something that the game has now where there's like detection on walls, where sometimes Nate will animate to kind of brush up again on walls as he passes by them.
Yeah.
Doesn't always look great, but boy, it's there, and I'm gonna have some stuff to say about it later.
Ooh, what's this?
Come on, Nate, get up the stairs. There, did it. He did not like those stairs for some reason. He didn't like those stairs. He was not being cooperative. Boy.
Carne means meat.
Yeah, and none of this is refrigerated. It's all sitting out here.
Maybe it's salted. Isn't that how that works?
Okay, so
maybe
Santiago is the name of the person who owns the cart, but I hope it's not meat from Santiago, because Santiago
that would be bad.
Santiago is the capital of Chile, which is in the bottom half of South America. We're at the most northern tippy-top part of South America.
It gets here and it's good for approximately 29 minutes before it spoils.
It's spoiled on the way, dude.
Now what's he doing?
Ooh,
Why are you making it your business?
You gotta hide.
Shouldn't you be trying to go break into the thing he unlocked?
No, he didn't unlock it. He shoved a key with no details into it and jiggled it around.
Like he's going upstairs.
Going upstairs, is he?
Oh, now we get to learn the video game mechanics.
Now, if only we knew someone who was good at climbing things. Now,
If it's hot here, I know this is shaded, but it's like, I feel like this would be pretty hot to touch.
Yeah, probably. His climbing animations are noticeably slower during this sequence because he's not as strong. And he is kind of slipping on it. You'll notice his feet aren't always getting purchased when he's climbing up. There are multiple ways up here. You can climb up. You may have seen kind of the yellow bricks right up against the door.
What's he doing in there?
So you can climb up on kind of the door frame and then come around here.
Move it along. It's just that I got a lady waiting. You know how that is.
Got a lady waiting, Sully. Oh, he's getting a key made.
You gotta be kidding me.
It's back, baby.
It wouldn't be a playthrough without it.
It didn't do it during the first playthrough.
Adios, amigo.
And no, so the key didn't unlock it. The key was getting the signature of the lock.
Can't go down that way.
It was soft, I think, is the idea. And then,
yeah,
and then he came and had it replicated.
I don't know how that type of stuff works, but
Hey, it could be made. It could be made up for all I know.
I think one of the coolest key copying things that I've seen was from the Italian Job.
The remake or the original? I don't recall a key making from the original.
Remake.
Okay, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, not the original. I have seen both.
I have not seen either, but I played a little bit of the video game at my friend's house
I didn't
once.
even know there was a video.
I think it's just a racing game.
Oh, that makes sense.
I don't remember ever being out of the car.
Was it a Mini Cooper?
It was.
Good. Okay. So
he's cutting through that building.
Handsome
Bet I can
Rob,
spot him
aka
from the
Jason Statham, goes and talks to, I think Becky is her name, because it's on her shirt is the only reason that they tell you that. And they're having to get, like, I don't even remember why, but they're taking.
Who's your friend?
Oh, that's the bitch.
It's the lady.
Marlo, he called her. Yeah.
Marlo. Okay.
Before we follow them, though, someone threw a knife up here.
Ooh.
Perfect bullseye.
Why is that? That doesn't look like treasure. Why are you picking it up, Nate?
Because it was shiny.
Is it an antique? Let's find out.
Because it was, yeah.
Antique Colombian table knife. Someone threw an antique Colombian table knife into that sign. They're like, well, I'm not getting that back.
Antique is just what the name is at the daggum vendor for $5.
Yeah. The store is antique. You almost couldn't even tell because the way the map loops you around, but they did drop us back into the same marketplace. If you're not paying attention, it just seems like it's more map, though. Because you couldn't come up here before because there were guys blocking the stairwell.
Interesting.
Sorry, Aidan, continue with the key-making story.
Oh, so anyway, he goes up and he's like talking to her, and Seth Green is mocking them, and then Jason Statham's. Oh, there were two guys in the same yellow shirt in that scene.
Don't worry about it.
You see? Oh, there's like 4 of them.
It's a very popular shirt.
There's only so many character models, Aidan.
Well, no, those two guys, those are different models, but they're wearing the same shirt.
Oh,
Only so many outfits.
Those are the same.
Yeah.
Those two are the same.
This is like one
Hey,
of those.
he's wearing my shirt.
Oh my gosh.
But
This is like one of those
clean.
I'll
games
trade you.
where it's like there are like 10 cards on the screens, like you have to match 2 of them, and then like there's 5 cards or there's 10 cards and 5 pairs, and it's just like match the thing.
But anyway, Jason Statham sleeps with Becky, and he wakes up the next morning and takes like her key that they had to copy and presses it into what looks like an Altoids container with like gooey stuff in it, and then closes the container around the key, and then I guess they just like fill that
I was gonna
mold
say
and
it would make a
new
mold
key.
for it.
Yeah, I've seen that before. I've seen that in a couple different movies.
It's good stuff.
I just think that's like so neat.
Okay.
It's pretty neat.
I think crime's cool.
Now's my chance.
It seems we have some time to kill.
I got an idea.
She looks exactly the same.
Well, that was easy.
He's a good pickpocket, dude.
I didn't even notice he did it. I'm
You
not
know-
even gonna lie to you.
That's the idea. If you notice it, it's not a very good pick, is it?
But I mean, normally pickpocket is you bump into the person. It's like
He's
you can't.
that good, dude.
Oops, sorry.
Or maybe not.
Suélteme, viejo!
Let's try that again.
Let go of me.
Ah, that's what I thought. Now don't try to run. You're a long way from home, son.
Don't call me that.
Parents must be worried about you.
Yeah, not likely.
Okay, sore subject. That was a nice lift back
He
there.
looks more like Ryan Reynolds than
I don't know what you're talking
Wahlberg.
about, old man.
Hey, don't call me that. Your technique is really sloppy, though. You're telegraphing all your moves.
that is so Ryan Reynolds. That is so Ryan Reynolds. Tell
Yeah?
me I'm wrong.
You've been tailing me all over town. Probably figured me for an easy mark. But you picked the wrong guy, pal.
What?
My wallet. Fine. Maybe we'll just call the police.
Go ahead. Of course, they might wonder why a middle-aged tourist is following young boys down alleyways.
You are a crafty little beggar, aren't you?
I know how to take care of myself. Anyway, I'm pretty sure you don't like the cops any more than I do.
Good point. Kid. The wallet.
Had to try.
Of course you did.
Did he take the key out
No,
of it?
you know he had to.
He had to. I can't think of a better fit. Give me the rest of the playthrough though, and I'll come up with somebody better than Tom Holland.
Telegraphing all my moves, huh?
Well, maybe you'll come up with a better fit on the next episode of Uncharted 3: Drake's Deception.
All right.
Museum's closed.